gods, demigods, great floods that have destroyed the world. This story has got a lot to unpack today. And I'm here with you. I hope that you're excited because I'm very excited to share it with you. I didn't know much about the story of Gilgamesh before researching it. Now that I've looked into it, I find it fascinating. All of the different pieces that go into different world traditions is just unbelievable. And I'm ready to share that with you today. You ready? 1, 2, 3.
In the heart of the city of Uruk, King Gilgamesh ruled with an iron fist. His arrogance knew no bounds. Born of divine blood, he believed himself above all others, a demigod destined for greatness. However, this belief translated into tyranny as he asserted his dominance over his people. Gilgamesh's rule was marked by arbitrary acts of cruelty. He would often force his way into the homes of newlywed couples, demanding the right to sleep with the brides before their husbands, a practice that sent shockwaves of fear and despair throughout the city. His actions had driven the people of Uruk to the brink of despair, and they cried out to the gods for deliverance. It was in response to these cries that the gods decided to humble Gilgamesh, to bring him back from his arrogant perch and teach him the value of humility. And so they created Enkidu, a wild man covered in hair who lived among the animals of the wilderness. Enkidu, the wild man, was a force of nature. He roamed the vast plains, living in harmony with the beasts of the land. His existence was a testament of the primal, untamed aspects of humanity that Gilgamesh had long forgotten in his pursuit of power. One day, as Enkidu quenched his thirst at a watering hole, a shepherd came across him. Terrified by the sight of the wild creature, the shepherd hurried to Uruk, seeking the aid of King Gilgamesh. The shepherd believed that only the mighty king could tame this beastly man. Upon hearing the shepherd's tale, Gilgamesh saw an opportunity to prove his strength and dominance. He ordered that a temple harlot be brought to the watering hole. Her purpose was to seduce Enkidu and tame him through the act of love. The harlot, skilled in the art of seduction, was sent on her mission. At the watering hole, the harlot and Enkidu engaged in an intimate encounter that forever changed the wild man. He became more human, and his connection to the animals began to fade. Afterward, the animals, sensing that he was no longer one of them, rejected him, and Enkidu was left alone. Enkidu, now aware of the world beyond the wilderness, yearned for more. He yearned for a purpose beyond mere survival, as his thoughts turned to Uruk, the great city where Gilgamesh ruled. He decided to journey to the city, a decision that would set the epic's events in motion. Upon his arrival in Uruk, Enkidu learned of Gilgamesh's oppressive rule and the suffering of the people. He felt compelled to confront the arrogant king and challenge his tyranny. This confrontation would lead to an unexpected turn of events, the blossoming of a profound friendship between two men who were once adversaries. Their friendship, born from conflict, grew stronger with each passing day. Gilgamesh recognized Enkidu's strength and wisdom, while Enkidu appreciated Gilgamesh's courage and leadership. Together, they became an unstoppable force within the city of Uruk. United in their friendship and thirst for adventure, Gilgamesh and Enkidu embarked on a journey to the cedar forest. This forest was a sacred realm guarded by the monstrous Humbaba, a creature feared by all. The gods, watching over their actions, granted Gilgamesh and Enkidu their blessings for the quest. Armed with divine protection, they confronted Humbaba, and a great battle ensued. Humbaba was a terrifying opponent, but with their combined strength and courage, the two friends overcame the guardian of the forest. However, their victory came at a cost. The gods, displeased with their actions, unleashed their wrath upon Enkidu, who fell gravely ill, and despite Gilgamesh's desperate efforts to save him, succumbed to the gods' judgment. Enkidu's death was a devastating blow to Gilgamesh, who was consumed by grief and guilt. The death of Enkidu shattered Gilgamesh's spirit. He was overcome with guilt, believing that his quest for glory and adventure had led to the ultimate demise of his dearest friend. The once mighty king was reduced to a shadow of his former self, wandering the city of Uruk in deep despair. As Gilgamesh mourned, he began to confront his own mortality. He realized that, like Enkidu, he too would one day face death, and this realization filled him with a profound sense of fear and vulnerability. It was during this time of introspection that he made a life-altering decision. He would embark on a new quest, a quest to seek the secret of eternal life and bring his beloved friend back from the realm of the dead. Determined to find the answers he sought, Gilgamesh set out on a journey that would take him to the very edge of the world. He ventured through the treacherous mountains and crossed vast deserts, seeking the wisdom of an immortal Utnapishtim, the sole survivor of the Great Flood. Upon reaching Utnapishtim's dwelling, Gilgamesh was welcomed and given the opportunity to ask the burning question that had driven him to this remote place. How could he achieve eternal life? Utnapishtim, who had witnessed the destruction of humanity by the gods during the Great Flood, shared the story of that cataclysmic event. He explained that the gods had granted him and his wife immortality as a reward for their role in preserving life during the flood. However, he revealed that true immortality was not meant for mortals. Life and death were part of the natural order, and no human could escape that fate. Despite the sobering revelation about the impossibility of true immortality, Utnapishtim offered Gilgamesh a glimmer of hope. He told him of a plant that grew at the bottom of the ocean, a plant with the power to restore youth to those who consumed it. This plant, Utnapishtim explained, was the closest a mortal could come to achieving eternal life. With newfound determination, Gilgamesh set out on yet another perilous journey, this time to obtain the miraculous plant of rejuvenation. He descended into the depths of the ocean, where, against all odds, he discovered the plant and brought it back to the surface. Exhausted but filled with hope, Gilgamesh rested by a pool of water on his way back to Uruk. Little did he know that the final test of his quest was yet to come. As he bathed in the pool, a cunning serpent approached and snatched the precious plant of rejuvenation from his grasp. Devastated, Gilgamesh watched as the serpent slithered away, taking with it his last hope to achieving eternal life. The realization that his quest had ended in failure, just as it had so many before him, weighed heavily on his heart. With the plant of rejuvenation lost to him, Gilgamesh returned to Uruk. However, he returned not as the arrogant tyrant who had once ruled with impunity, nor as the grieving friend who had been consumed by guilt and despair. Instead, he returned as a wiser, humbler king who had come to accept the limitations of mortality. In Uruk, Gilgamesh found solace in the city's walls and his legacy. He realized that true immortality lay not in escaping death, but in the memories of those who he left behind. His deeds, his leadership, and the enduring stories of his adventures would live on in the hearts and minds of his people for generations to come. Gilgamesh died a wise and beloved king, leaving a legacy that would echo through the annals of history. His story, the Epic of Gilgamesh, would be etched into clay tablets and passed down through the ages, becoming the world's oldest known literary work. While the Epic of Gilgamesh has long been regarded as a myth, modern discoveries have shed new light on its historical authenticity. Ancient clay tablets dating back to the 7th century BCE were uncovered in the ruins of Mesopotamia, in what is now called Iraq. These tablets contain inscriptions of the epic, providing compelling evidence of its historical roots. Archaeological excavations in the region have unearthed the ancient city of Uruk itself, confirming its existence as described in the epic. The layout of the city, its monumental architecture, and the artifacts found within its walls all align with the descriptions in the ancient tale. One particularly intriguing discovery was the Gilgamesh cylinder seal, recovered from the tomb of a queen in the ancient city of Uruk. This seal depicted scenes from the epic and further reinforced the belief that Gilgamesh was a real historical figure. The convergence of historical evidence and archaeological findings has led scholars to conclude that the Epic of Gilgamesh, once considered a mere myth, is indeed grounded in a rich history. It tells the story of a king who journeyed from arrogance to humility, from despair to acceptance, and in doing so, left an indelible mark on the ancient world. The epic reminds us that the quest for immortality, though futile in its ultimate goal, can lead to a profound personal transformation and enduring legacies that transcend the boundaries of time. Gilgamesh, the mighty king of Uruk, may have passed into the annals of history, but his story continues to captivate and inspire us, a testament to the enduring power of storytelling and the human spirit.
All right, that's our tale today on the Epic of Gilgamesh. If you like this sort of content, make sure you hit the like button and subscribe to our channel. Until next time, stay positive, love everyone, and be sure to share a story or two.